Hello,
Rhonda, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I understand you're taking over for Mimi, right?
Yes,
Big shoes to fill, right?
yes. So I'm definitely probably never going to be able to fill her shoes, but we're going to try and make sure that people are aware of the resources that the library has.
Okay. Let me just make sure. I'm doing this solo here today. Lindsay was supposed to be the presenter, but she had a family emergency situation, so she's not going to be there. I was going to be the class manager, so I'm going to do both today. Um, I know you've been in talks also with Jane, right, on how to do the sessions in person at one point.
Yes, so she did email me today about getting on a Zoom call to talk about some dates, possible dates for that. So yeah.
Okay, awesome, good. And I think that the when I've done this in the past, about an hour into it, so say at 6:30, we hand it over to you. I hand it over to you as far as doing a presentation from the library, right? As far as resources available.
That works for me.
And you pronounce your name, is it Ulanda?
It's Yolanda.
Yolanda. Okay.
Yes.
Make sure I get that right. Yolanda. Okay. So I'll introduce you and I'll let you go through that. And then I'll just when you're done with that, say, we'll shoot for I'm trying to think. It's I think it's from 5:30 to 7, right? Or is it 5:30 to 7:30?
It's 5:30 to 7:30.
Is it 7:30? Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, so I figured at I'll take an hour to go through my stuff here and then I'll turn it over to you. And then when you're done, I'll pick it back up and kind of close it and tell them what other resources there are and they can apply for a mentor or they can sign up online for simple steps 2 to 5, right?
Okay,
Yeah. Does that work for you?
it does.
You've done these before, right?
I have, yes.
It's okay. All right. Do you see my PowerPoint chart on here, Yolanda?
Yes, I can.
The startup basics? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, good. How long you been with the library?
About I think 12 years. When did I
Oh,
start?
is it 12 years?
2010.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh
And
no, it's 15. Oh my goodness.
time flies when you're having fun, right? I have no idea how many people signed up for this either. We're kind of short-staffed here a little bit as far as the webinar program. So we need to, I just kind of rewrote the sort of the procedures, but the one thing I didn't get clarity on is where do people sign up? How do we see it? Is it an engaged? Do you have any idea?
I do not have access to that side of
Okay.
things. I just get that email from the score administrator, and I'm not sure who that is.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I just allowed you to, I guess, present as well to share.
Thank you. Yeah.
You did that, right? I'm playing around here. There's a lot of stuff going on my screen here, so I'm just trying to. Very good. Good.
And I'm not sure if you wanted to leave it in this view. or if you wanted just to see the single slide for your slide deck. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
This,
Yes.
all right, I'm going to see, I'm going to pull down the participants. So when people come in. Yeah, I'm starting on this one here. There's a couple extra ones here that in front that I'm just going to bypass.
Oh, sorry. You're editing the presentation. My bad.
Sorry?
I didn't realize you were editing the presentation.
No, I'm not
Sorry.
editing it. I'm just kind of planning a little bit and saying I'm going to take out some charts. We talked about that. I think we have like 45 slides and some of them are really not necessary. So I am just looking at what I'm going to eliminate here. Oh, are you at the library or are you working from home?
I'm working from home.
Okay, cool. Does the library have what kind of meeting facilities do you have there? And when we are going maybe in person again?
So most branches do have a conference room that will hold 30 plus people. Um, that would be except for Plaza Midwood. And actually, Plaza Midwood is closed right now, so I don't think they would be available in March and April anyway.
Okay,
But depending on where the score administrators are, there should be a room available. It would just depend on the dates
okay.
that you're looking at.
And then when you say that a room would be available, what kind of how many people can you accommodate roughly?
So, yep, I'm thinking they should all have a room that accommodates 30 plus.
Okay, 30 plus. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. Have you done these in person?
No, I have not. I'm trying to think when, like, that would have been, I can't remember the last time it was advertised in person. Definitely before the pandemic. But I know they used to do them at the South County branch. I think they may have done some at Main Library,
Yeah.
but no, I have never participated in one that's in
Okay,
person.
in person. Okay. And Yolanda, what's your last name?
Slaughter.
Slaughter. Okay, that's right. I remember that now. Can you see the chat screen?
Yes.
You can. Okay, good. I think it's recording already. Okay. I think as soon as I started, it starts recording. So what's DigiLit? Looking at your screen right now. DigiLit.
That's the library's digital literacy series of programs.
Okay.
So it's basically just the Microsoft Excel, Google Suite programs. We do some Canva classes, just those basics for digital literacy.
Yeah. Are you affected at all by the new administration as far as funding and whatever is it impacting you at all?
We haven't seen an impact yet. Of course, about, ICE coming into public spaces, the administration is kind of just making sure that we all know how to conduct ourselves accordingly. But regarding funding, no, that hasn't hit us yet.
Yeah. Because I do work with some of the other nonprofits around Charlotte, and they're already mentioning some of the grants might be on hold, and what a mess. Well, it's 5:26, and we got 4 minutes to go, and we're the only ones.
It looks like one attendee has joined.
Oh yeah,
PD.
there you go.
I don't know if they want a one-on-one session. We do offer those at the library, but I can give PB
PB.
a one-on-one tonight.
Hello, PB. No, PB, you have to identify yourself. Otherwise, Yolanda and I am going to try to guess what the PP stands for. Hello, Sarah. Sarah Webb.
Hi,
How are you?
good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Are you in Charlotte?
Actually, I'm working from home today. I'm in Rock Hill.
Okay. Still enjoying this 70-degree weather.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think I think yesterday it dropped like 25 degrees. Today it's warm again, and 2 weeks ago we had freezing temperatures, and I don't know what to make of it.
Don't you love North Carolina weather? Can't
Yeah.
Life
make up
in the
its mind.
Carolinas, yeah.
Yep. And I'm heading to DC on Sunday, and I just checked the weather, and it's like in the 30s. And I'm like, no, can I take this North Carolina weather with me, please?
Sarah, you already have a business, or are you thinking about starting a business?
I am thinking about starting a business. I'm currently employed, but have wanted to start my own thing for a while. And I am finally putting pen to paper and actually joining these calls and reaching out and getting a mentor and putting all the steps in action so I can actually do it this year. So
What kind of business are you thinking about?
I am a veteran and have worked in government and government contracting for most of my career. And so I want to start my own government contracting business, mainly in the hospitality and event planning space, but still working the details and the actually met with my mentor for the first time last night. So
Who's your mentor?
um Felicia
Yeah.
York. Did I say her name right? I hope I did.
Um, if that's the village I'm thinking of, yeah, I'm drawing a blank now. So have you met in person or just on over the phone?
We did a call on the phone. Yeah, Felicia Polk. We did a Zoom call last night or a Google Meets call.
Okay, we've got PB. PB, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, and I cannot change my name.
You don't have to change your name. Are you able to be on camera? I don't see anybody's smiling faces. I only see your names.
No, I don't have that option.
Where
Okay.
do you change? Yeah, I just have the audio option. I don't have a video. I don't see a video option.
Okay. Hmm. And then we have is it Alicia Bridges? Hello, Miss Bridges. But you can hear me okay, right?
Hello, I'm here. It's Aisha.
Oh, it's Aisha. Sorry. I
It's
couldn't tell if
okay.
it was an I or an E or an L. Okay. Aisha Bridges. Okay. Aisha, are you on, have you started a business or are you thinking about one?
I'm actually outlining my business plan for it. I had a business before, but I no longer have that business. But yeah, I'm starting something new.
Okay. What are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about medical billing and eventually adding a coding like base business outsourcing for the maybe like mental health institutions and stuff like that, the healthcare field.
Okay. All right. People are rolling in here. Let's see. Let's see. Biden and Lamboni. Did I say that right? David Kirkpatrick. Just checking here with everyone. Can you hear me? Can you see me? And give me a little heads up here. Biden, Lamboni. Okay. How about Phyllis Howard? Phyllis.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Thank you. Phyllis,
Okay.
have you started a business already? Or are you thinking about starting one?
I'm in the process of getting paperwork together to get it up and
Okay.
running.
Very good. You don't have a mentor yet?
I do not. I just submitted the paperwork to get a mentor.
Okay.
I went out on SCORE and registered for a mentor.
Got it. All right. Now we have Louine Joy. Hey, Louine? Okay. Just checking you can hear me. See me. Okay, it's 5:32. We'll give it a couple more minutes here. We've got a couple people probably
Hey,
moving in
sorry about
right
that.
now.
Can you hear me
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Tell me your name again, please.
Oh yeah, it's Lou and Joy. My mute button is a little tricky sometimes. Unmute
Yeah,
rather.
Louine. Louine, what are you already in business or are you thinking about one?
I'm just starting out as of last month. I'm a studio artist and I have a creative coaching practice that been building up for a couple years and decided to officially launch.
And who do you coach? Who's your target audience?
Largely, I work with studio artists, people who have an art practice established, but also a lot of people who are in a range of industries and hoping to access like creativity as just kind of a helpful resource and everything. And a lot of people identify with creative blocks across their life. And yeah, I use a lot of different strategies to help people kind of like be with their authentic self and undo some of the self-limiting behaviors.
Okay, awesome. Very good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
So
Um,
I
thanks for
don't know. I don't know if I should feel left out or if I should feel special. This is PB talking. I don't know if it's because I couldn't change my name in the system, but I didn't get those questions, Mr. Score, Charlotte administration.
Yes, ma'am. I no, it must have been when we're hiding behind the PP screen. No, tell me a little bit about yourself. What is your business or business idea?
It's sales and marketing consulting.
Okay. And who are you consulting? I mean, who would be your client base?
Hoteliers.
Hotels. Interesting. Okay. Very good. Have you started this already, or are you in the process of getting it started?
Most of the infrastructure and legalities and systems are in place. I just have not gone after my first client yet.
Okay. Very good. And then hello, Angelica Harris. Make sure you can hear me. Okay. And then I'm not sure I'm going to say this right. Biden Lamboni. Can you tell us a little bit about where you are in your business concept or planning? Okay. How about Angelica? Can you tell us a little bit about why you're here today?
Hi, yes. So I am here to continue to educate myself and gain some knowledge on obviously the startup basics. I will say yes, I am ready. I'm a natural hair care specialist. I've been licensed for almost 4 years now. And so I have not gotten a structure in place as far as the business structure, but I have considered LLC. But I still have been kind of like just making sure I'm checking my resources and doing what I need to do at the right time. But I do feel like it's time. I have definitely been gaining traction. Some it's kind of been on and off. I have moved around a little bit, so that did definitely play a role in me being able to build clientele, and some other things, just working through, learning the basics of entrepreneurship. I grew up around entrepreneurs, but their entrepreneurship style is a little bit different than, what I want to do. So I'm kind of just um, learning how to walk, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, it's 5:37. I think we get started here. We have a pretty fully packed agenda here. So let me just welcome you all of you. Thank you for being here and spending some time here with us. My name is Joe Warner. I don't think it says, it just says Score Administrator. I've been a mentor for the last 5 years. I was also on the leadership team. Real quick, I don't know how familiar you are with SCORE. SCORE is a national organization that works with small businesses, small business owners, and folks who are thinking about starting a small business. And the simple steps. One session is really is an overview to tell you a little bit about what's involved in starting a business. And I can tell you from experience, there's a lot involved. There's a lot of different things that you have to think about. And we'll cover that today. But I also want to introduce Yolanda Slaughter. She's here from the Mecklenburg Library. And after my presentation, I'll be sharing some information with you for the next 45, 60 minutes or so. And then Yolanda will step in and talk about some of the phenomenal tools that the library offers as far as doing research, a lot of different databases and information that you can pull together at no charge, that helps you in terms of decision making. So I look forward to Yolanda's presentation, and I'll come back and then wrap up. Okay. Any questions? I'm looking at the webinar chat. Feel free to put questions in there or ask, raise your hand. Normally we have a second person here that handles some of the logistics, so I'll try to keep an eye on that. If you have any questions, keep in mind you don't have to write down all the charts. You'll get a copy of the whole presentation after our presentation, so that you can add your notes. So feel free to ask any questions. Ask me any questions along the way. If you don't have any questions at this point in time, I see that Angelica has a question how to come off mute. Let me see if I can figure that part out here.
I'm sorry, that was earlier before
Oh, okay.
before you asked me to speak. I do apologize about that.
Very good. Okay. Well, good. Then if everybody's good, let's get started here. I'll tell you a little bit about what you'll learn about today. We'll talk about entrepreneurship, what it's like to start a business, some of the critical success factors that you have to consider. There's always options in terms of how to set up your company. There's different ways of owning a company. So we'll talk about the legality of LLC versus subchapter S corporations, etc. We'll talk one of the most important topics, that is business plans. The old adage is, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So I encourage anyone who's starting a business or thinking about starting a business to put together a game plan. We have great templates that we can send you that sort of show an outline of what a business plan looks like. You can work from there and kind of put it together. But at the end of the day, it's all about figuring out, where's your money going to come from, right? Who's going to pay you for what, right? So it's defining your target audience, figuring out your service, how it's different from competitors, and then put together a game plan and how to get started. There's also a self-assessment, so that is something that it's a nice little tool at the end that you can kind of go through and figure out, hey, what do I need? Where am I short as far as getting started? And then I'll talk to you a little bit about the next steps. And I think a couple of you have already mentioned you're working with a mentor or thinking about starting with a mentor. Like I said, I've been a mentor for the last 5 years, and our role really as mentors is to be a sounding board to you, to kind of help you, give you feedback, give you suggestions, maybe point out resources, places to go, like the library, and move in the right direction. So we're a sounding board. We don't do the work for you, but we'll meet with you in person. We'll do it via video or phone, whatever is most convenient to you. And we'll talk about what's most important to you. I've had some clients for several years now. They've gone through the startup phase. Now they have growing pains when you think about hiring people. So at every stage of the business life cycle, there's different issues. And some people, I know some of my cohorts have had clients for many years, and it's an evolutionary process. Good. So the benefits, this is kind of help you today, kind of get a sense for, am I ready to start this on my own? What am I missing? What do I need? What holes do I have? Where do I need a mentor maybe? Where do I need to meet with an accountant or with an attorney? And hopefully all the information that we kind of provide is will help you to decide whether you're ready to move forward on your idea, or if you need to flesh it out a little bit more, maybe do more research to figure out, is this really something that's going to make money for you? Are you quitting a job? Are you going to do it at nighttime? So there's a lot of different aspects to that. So thank you. We've done that part before. Some of you have shared with me kind of who you are and what what your situation is. Yes, I need a mentor. Okay, Aisha, I just see that. So we'll talk about that at the end. You can help as far as finding a mentor. Yolanda, thank you for putting up the link. But you can call SCORE, or you can go online and apply for a mentor. And then we have an intake team that try to match you with a mentor that has relevant experience in your field of business. I started out, I spent 20 years working for large companies, and then decided I wanted to go out on my own, and I had my own business for 17 years or so. I sold that business 5 years ago, and like I said, since then I'm a mentor. I also work with a couple of other nonprofits in the greater Charlotte area. All right, let's talk about some of the myth and realities of I think I must have. Oh, it's frozen. Anyway, the reality is that a lot of businesses don't make it for a number of different reasons. We'll talk about that. It's hard work. It's very, very difficult to start a business and to maintain it. And here we go. Okay, let's talk about some of the critical success factors, why people are successful starting up a business. It helps if you have experience in the field that you want to start your own business in, right? So if you, like Aisha said, she has experience with medical billing. So if you already know what you're doing and you've worked for somebody else, then moving into your own business is going to be a lot easier because you already bring that expertise. One thing you'll definitely need is working hard. If you're thinking having your own business is going to be a cakewalk, it's not. You're going to work a lot more, and you're going to work a lot of different jobs. I mean, you'll handle everything from accounting to sales to keeping track of your expenses, calling customers, customer service. You're going to wear a lot of different hats, and that's something that you have to be comfortable with, that you have to work hard and work in many different arenas, because initially very few businesses are able to hire employees, so you'll be doing it on your own. And that of course takes very good time management skills. Yeah, the one suggestion is, and that's why it's good working with a mentor, is you're willing to listen and learn from others that have been there before. If you had a business before, then I've made a lot of mistakes, and I think the reason I've decided to become a mentor is I want to help folks like you to avoid some of the mistakes and kind of guide you in the right direction here. The last point here is adequate capital. It's going to take money to get business started. You're going to initially spend more than you take in. It's going to take a while to build your customer base, but you're going to have expenses right from the get-go. That could be right here on that chart. You might need licenses and permits. You might have to pay an accountant to kind of get set up. You might have to pay an attorney. A lot of stuff you can do online, but my suggestion is always to talk to professionals, get professional advice when it comes to legal and accounting. You might have to invest in QuickBooks. I'm a big believer in QuickBooks. It's a great tool to help you track your revenues and all of your expenses. Once you do that and you put it into QuickBooks, it's very easy to put those transactions in there. And then it allows you to create wonderful reports that show you you know, what you did, you can put your budget numbers in there. It's going to help you with your tax accounting at year end, etc. So it's a wonderful tool, but it's an expense up front. Also, if you think about starting your own business, and some of you I know have jobs, and the question is, when do you quit your job? Can you start a business on the side? Can you do it on evenings and weekends? Or do you have a game plan that says, hey, I've got some money saved, stashed away, and I can live for the next 3 to 6 months on my savings, and you know, try to get my business cranked up so it will ultimately start paying dividends and generate income for me that I can, you know, pay myself either salary, or at year end you can take some of the profits. So important is, if you're trying to get funding, that, you know, it's difficult to get funding at the beginning. A lot of banks are reluctant to hand out money until, you know, you've proven your business, which is really besides the point. But I've learned that the SBA does have a very good micro loan program that's a lot easier than a regular loan program. That might be something of interest to you if you need it. But keep in mind, when you're trying to get funding, they're always going to look at your own personal credit history. They're looking, do you bring money to the table? Because anybody who wants to loan you money, whether it's an investor or bank, they always want to make sure that you have skin in the game, right? That you're not just raising money and then spending it, but you're also spending some of your own money. So it says here at the end, total amount to cover 6 to 12 months of expenses. That's pretty heavy, but think about that. Think about your business and what kind of expenses you have, and are you going to work from home? Are you going to set up an office? And whatever, you know, you're doing is going to require funds, and the big question is, where are those funds coming from? Okay, so let's talk about starting a new business. The nice thing about a brand new business, you start from scratch, right? There is no bad brand name. You don't buy anything that might be tainted with prior experiences. So you can create your own brand. You can create your own business. You create your own location, your name, your logo. You decide who you're going to sell to, and how you're going to do that, and how you differentiate yourself. You can explore new markets. That's, I think the most liberating aspect of starting your own business is you make the decisions where you take it, right? And you can take it in a lot of different ways. Disadvantage is, if you start from scratch, you obviously don't have a customer base to build on. You are starting from scratch. You're going to build your customer base, and it's a bigger risk, right? And no, you're not known in the industry. You're going to have to build that track record. You have to build some positive client experiences, and once you have that, it moves quickly, because, as you know, if you buy services now online, etc., you always see other people's evaluations and thumbs up and whatever ratings. So once you have a track record and you have clients, you can ask them to write testimonials for you, and success breeds success. Buying an existing business, of course, is going to take money, right? I mean, but the advantage is you buy, you know, you have clients right away. You have a known location. You may have a business name that's a known entity, so you can build from that. When you buy it, you have access to all the financial records and decide how much is that business worth. And because the business is already existent, you can probably get funding a lot easier. But the flip side of that is, if you're looking at buying something, there might be some aspects that you're not familiar with, some bad reputation. There might be, if you're looking at buying something with products, some old obsolete inventory. There might be employee issues. So from that standpoint, buying a business is always a very risky business, and it takes money. So most people that come through the SCORE system are starting something on their own, and those questions, those aspects are really not really relevant. You could buy a franchise. That's I'll just give you that option as well. Franchises are established business models. These are franchisors that already have businesses throughout the region or through the country that are proven, that have a proven operating system, that have a brand. The franchisor supports the franchisees with marketing and sales power. They can provide you with training, startup guidance to get going and all that. So it's a great way to get started. It takes some of the myth out of starting something unknown. And a franchise, you pay an upfront fee and you probably pay a percentage of your revenues, but you get a known entity. And from that standpoint, the risk is somewhat lower. The disadvantages are several. You're not your own boss. You still have a franchisor who's going to dictate a lot of the aspects of your business. You are ongoing. You're going to pay ongoing royalty fees and all that, and you might be stuck in 10, 15 years, whatever it might be. So anyway, it's an option. If that's something of interest, we can talk about it in more detail. So location, I know you thought about, hey, where am I operate out of? Can I do it from home? Obviously, working from home is super convenient, right? The commute is very short actually. It's going to cost you a lot less to operate from home. You have great flexibility how you do this. There are tax advantages when you can allocate some of your costs at home into the business. And if you're a virtual business, you can hire people really anywhere in the world. But at the same time, I warn you from that. It wasn't for me. I went out and I got an office because I thought that this would be way too dangerous for me to work from home without some structure or place where I could get easily distracted. And here on a nice day, I might say, oh, let me go outside and I'll maybe cut the grass or something, or hey, let me do this or do that, and you kind of get away from business. So the idea is that when you close your office at home, wherever it is, you come to work and you want to work from work. You want to get your work done when you're at home. You're isolated from others, right? You're going to be on your own, which is a lot more difficult. People find it a lot easier and more productive when they're working with other people. And even some of the WeWork opportunities where you work in a shared office space are options, because you have shared conference rooms, you have sometimes a receptionist, you have other people there. So it's good for morale, and I think good for the psyche to have other people around. Nonprofit, I'm going to jump through that real quick. Nonprofits has advantages. Obviously, you have to apply and qualify for that 501c3 status. But if you get that and you show that how all the profits remain with the organization, you may qualify for government or foundation grants, okay? And you can pay salaries to employees and consulting fees, but you must have a clear focus on either an educational or a charitable purpose, and you have to prove that the money is really dedicated to those causes. I don't think anyone in this group here is thinking about a nonprofit, so I'll move on from there. You have online businesses. Those are good opportunities to again work from home. Your startup costs are lower. You can obviously get acceptance from consumers online rather quickly. Your geographic reach is unlimited. You can go anywhere, and it's 24/7, right? I mean, but 24/7 is also a negative, right? You are also accessible 24/7, and a lot of people don't want to deal with customer situations where you can be reached any time of the day. I mean, it is stressful. Let me stress that again. It's a stressful period to start up a business, and you want to make sure that you have downtime for yourself and allow some time for you to come up for air. Okay, so I mentioned that before. When you start your business, you are going to be wearing a lot of different hats, right? The CEO is the person who's going to write the business plan, who's got the vision, and you think about, hey, where do I want to take this business? Blue, and you're talking about before you want to, be a creative coach. You're thinking, okay, where's this going to go? What's your vision and mission? What do you want your business to look like in 3 years from now, 5 years from now? You want to scale it? Do you want to be a one-person show? Do you want to work with contractors? Do you want to hire your own people at some point in time? Those are all things that you have to consider. Initially, it's pretty safe to say that what you see on this chart is what you will be doing in some fashion or another. You'll be selling, and that's probably the most important. You got to have customers, right? The customers pay the bills, so you have to find customers. You have to sell to them. You have to market them. You have to find them. Whether you use social media or use other types of advertising, you have to find your prospects and then sell them, and then you provide your service, whatever it is, whether it's consulting or whether it's hairstyling or providing consulting services, whatever, hospitality events. You need to deliver the customer service, right? And you need to look at how much you're going to charge for that, right? What's that going to look like? How are you differentiating yourself from others who do the same thing? And again, I think Yolanda will show you later a little bit how you can look at competitors and figure out what other people do and what they charge, and you have to figure out, okay, how do I separate myself? If I find a person who's already buying from a competitor, how do I convince them that my product, my service is the way to go, right? So that's part of marketing and product development. Then, of course, you have the other things I mentioned, accounting. You got to keep track of everything that comes in as far as revenues from customers, but also your expenses. So marketing is essentially, how do I reach my market, right? What strategies do I use to get people to buy from me? And what do I do to promote my products? How do I get people interested in my product? How do I get them to try it? How can I promote it? How do I get them to buy it again, right? It might be a recurring service. And I tell you that your best customers are the ones that you've had for a long time. Repeat customers is where you make money. New customers always cost money because you have to invest in them to get them up to speed. So the best thing is to figure out, once you get customers, how do you keep them? How do you get them to come back and buy from you again? If you offer consulting, PB, if you offer something, then how do you might have a project, and once that project is done, what's the next project after that? What else can you sell them? What else can you market to them? So that's something that you have to decide and figure out, what does my customer need and what can I offer? And it's going to help you define your product range. By the way, what I just told you is part of Simple Steps 3. That's the follow-up workshops to this one. Today is just to kind of give you an overview of the different areas, but if you want to get into a more detail and get a little more depth, then you can sign up for these Simple Steps 2 through 5 workshops. Okay, branding. You've probably heard the word branding. It is your brand. Whatever business you start, your name is going to be your brand, your logo. Anything that your phone call, when you call people, that's all part of your brand. You're building a brand that is your business. It's the quality of your products. It's the advertising. It's the type of follow-up. It's your literature that you send. It's your website. It's all the tools that you use to market and sell your product. That creates your brand. And you have to figure out, what do I stand for? What is my business supposed to be? What does it stand for? If I meet someone on the street or at the bus stop or in an elevator, and they ask me, what do you do? What's your business all about? You've got to be able to describe very quickly what your business is about, what you offer, who you offer it to, and maybe how you're unique and different from others. Any questions? Take a quick break here. Elevator pitch. Yes, Sarah, thank you. That's exactly it. It's an elevator pitch. It's really, in essence, defining what is the purpose of your business, right? So thank you for that. Okay. Sales. Well, sales is pretty simple. It's self-explanatory. It's who are your customers? Who are you going to sell to? So when PB said before, she's going to offer sales and marketing services to hoteliers. What does that mean? What service are you going to offer them? How are you going to reach hotels? Is hotel chains? Is it single hotels, boutique hotels? What are you offering it? What are you offering? What kind of service are you offering them? Do you have any? Can you give us a little more definition on that one, PB?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so basically working with hoteliers to help them grow revenue, to optimize their distribution strategy. So hotels can distribute their products on different platforms, either locally, regionally, or globally. And so myself and eventually my team, fingers crossed, will come in and help hoteliers balance their channel mix, their distribution strategy so that they can maximize and optimize revenue.
Okay, good. So part of it might be maybe at this point in time, they're just a hotel. They really don't do any real selling, they just kind of, hey, we're here and we're waiting for somebody to drop in. But that I can tell you as a strategy is not going to be sufficient. You always have to be in the game of finding customers, right? And how do you find customers? And who are your customers? Is it just a family that comes in? Is it the business traveler that comes into the hotel? Is it maybe organizations? Is there maybe, can you create programs that cater to businesses and say, hey, we got a great hotel here. So when you are outside salespeople or whoever come to town, we offer them a great program. So that is really, I think, what some of the services that you can offer a hotel is to find them customers, how to get repeat business, how to find totally maybe different customers, find the prospects, make presentations, tell them what's in it for them, and help them close the deal. Right at the end of the day, you're making presentations and convincing people that you're the right person to go with. So the question is here, when it comes to product and service, let's talk about the skill set here. What aspects of your business operation do you feel uncomfortable with, right? Can you learn more? Can you get, as somebody mentioned before, license. I think Angelica mentioned she's been licensed for 4 years. Licensing is awesome. That shows you that you've invested in your career. So from that standpoint, invest in your career. Can you get additional courses? Can you get maybe an associate's degree? Is there something you can do that makes you stronger, gives you more expertise in the product or service that you sell? You can also outsource it, right? I mean, let's face it, at the end of the day, you can't do everything. And one of the things I remember when I started is accounting was one thing for sure that I didn't know everything about. I knew a little bit of here and there, but get an accountant to take care of your accounting is probably good outsourcing, because you need to focus on your business and figuring out how your number one job is to figure out how to generate revenues, how to get sales for your business. Critical factors also, obviously location. So when you start a business and your location is important, you may want to look at whether it's shopping centers or areas, who's your customers and where are they going to, and who else is in that arena? Are you facing competitors? Are there maybe other businesses close by that could actually cater to the same customer base, but selling something different? But the other business attracting people might be an opportunity for you to attract those people as well. I'm just going to check my screen here on scores. Okay, good. So price. Obviously, at some point in time, you have to figure out what are you going to charge, right? And ultimately, you have to charge a price that is fair, that your customers accept as a fair price, but it's also got to be a price that allows you to cover your costs and make a profit, right? You're in business to make a profit, unless you're a nonprofit. But if you're in business to make a profit, then you got to make sure that you understand what your costs are, not only the variable costs, the direct cost of making a product or service, but also your fixed costs. So you need to generate a margin, a profit margin that allows you to cover all your costs and generate a profit so you can pay yourself. And how do you do that? And I think Yolanda is going to talk about that a little bit. She's going to show you some tools that look at competitors and give you an idea of, hey, what's the guy down the street charge for the same service, right? And you need to know that, and you need to understand how is the service different. Because ultimately, your pricing structure is going to be realistic, right? Otherwise, if people are not, if thinking you're overpriced, that you're not going to sell anything. But you can't be too low either, because that means that you're not going to make any money and you probably won't stay in business. So that takes a lot of research and analysis to figure out exactly what you should be charging and how you should convey that. Now, keep in mind, you could always have introductory pricing. So people are saying, "Oh, I'm starting out," and some people are going to question, can I really get that price when I'm not really established yet? So you can have introductory promotional pricing, etc. But you got to make clear that is introductory only, and at some point in time when you're up and running and you feel good about the service that you offer, then there's no need to discount it. So again, competitors. I mean, that is going to be real critical. I mean, your customers for the most part have options. I haven't heard of any of you today that has a very unique business where, hey, I'm the only one and I don't have competitors as such. I don't have to worry about pricing and some of these things. But for the most part, you will have competitors, and you probably have lots of competitors and different types of competitors. So the idea is that you understand how do they operate, how are you different from your competitors, what are your advantages, what are your disadvantages, what services do you offer that others don't, are you unique, and what reputation can you build? So that takes a little bit of time to build this. This is all part of building a business plan and figuring out, okay, what area do I really want to focus in? And one of the mistakes that startups do is that they try to do too many things initially. So focus on something that really is a strength, which you would kind of define as your core business. What am I really, really good at? And build on that and use your expertise. You can always grow it and go wider and offer other services, but you got to have a strong basis to do so. And by the way, looking at competitors is very easy. If you have a sign shop, or if you're going into hairstyling or whatever, if I've got a paint shop, call around. I mean, you can find out. You can go online, or you can call and ask them about, hey, what do you charge and how does it work and how are you different? So that kind of helps you by looking at your competitors and understanding what the people that you compete with are doing. It's going to help you define and refine your own business proposition. Okay, making it legal. So you have different forms of organization. I think the typical ones that you see is LLC. It's a limited liability company. There's also an S corporation that gets taxed a little bit differently. It all depends on how many people are in the business with you. Is it you alone? Do you think you're going to have shareholders at some point in time? Do you have, so you have other members of your organization? Those are all things that, so there's pros and cons for each type of organization. And again, I would suggest that you maybe research that a little bit online, and then when you're ready to get set up, either you can do it online yourself. It's very inexpensive to set up a company, or you work with an attorney who can again tell you for your specific situation what's the best form of organization and help you get set up. So I just mentioned that's probably the simplest one, are the sole proprietorship or partnership, and then liability and taxation is a concern, and liability it should be a consideration for almost anyone. I mean, if there's any chance that your business could trigger a lawsuit because you didn't deliver, or you didn't deliver the right thing, or something went wrong or whatever, and people can sue you, you want to make sure that you have corporate protection, that so that the person who is going after you can't go after your personal assets, right? That's the whole idea of having a business set up and a legal business set up, because they can only go after your business assets and not after your personal assets. You got to protect yourself. There's other things depending on the business. I think trying to think. I would imagine in medical billing and different arenas, there are business licenses and approvals that you have to look into. So make sure you get that. Make sure you're legal. You could probably Google a lot of that, or your mentor can help you. Labor laws, if you hire people. Oh, here's a touchy one. Immigration laws. Sounds like they're changing here daily. And of course, you have tax withholdings, IRS withholdings, all that with people. Make sure that you understand what the government requires. Insurance is another thing. If you're operating out of an office, you're going to have property insurance, rental insurance, whatever, liability insurance. Again, there's something called professional liability insurance, so you can protect yourself again against lawsuits, even within the business. It's an insurance that you can pay. I had that. It's worth every penny. If you need a car for your business, obviously you need auto insurance. Umbrella liability is a good program to give you additional coverage beyond what the basic insurance policies cover. Workers' comp if you have people, healthcare, life insurance, and all that. Business interruption, disability insurance, a lot of stuff out there. And again, it's those are things to consider. In some cases you need them. In other cases you can probably get away without insurance. But for the most part, it's probably worthwhile to look into exactly what you need. Just quick check here. There's any questions here? Okay. All right, let's talk about business plans. It's probably almost every client that I've worked with over the last 5 years, we've always talked about business plans. It's probably the most important aspect of the business if you're starting out. And even if you're already started a little bit, it's good to sit down and do it in writing and put together a plan of what do you want to accomplish? What do you want your business to be? It then makes it a lot easier for others to look at, right? So if you put together a business plan and saying, okay, I want to do this and this and sell this to whoever, and I'm going to operate out of here, and my competition is here, and here's what I'm going to charge, then let a friend or a spouse or a mentor or somebody review it. I mean, that's the whole idea, is you get another opinion, you get feedback, you get, you get a sounding board from someone who can tell you whether you're on the right track. Does that make sense? What are you missing? It's a great tool. And by having a plan and sitting down and saying, okay, I'm hoping to generate $50,000 in revenues this year, and it's going to start in April. Until then, I'm building, but then April maybe I get the first 3,000. And it's going to build because I'm adding clients and I'm adding services. I'm using more of my time to do that. By setting goals and by putting it into a plan, it allows you then to check to see whether you made it, whether you're successful, right? A budget is a great tool to compare it to your actuals, and you can figure out, oh, what went wrong, what went right. And that's the nature of a business person, is then you build on that. You learn from your experiences, good and bad. So who's interested in your business plan? Yeah, definitely a banker. I mean, if you're looking to get funding, if you're looking to get a grant from someone, there's a lot of grants that are out there that you can get. But I can tell you, everyone who's going to give you money, or who's interested in giving you money, wants to see a game plan. They want to get a sense for, what are you doing? Well, what are you planning to do? Is it well thought out? Does it make sense? How risky is the business? Because the money and the interest rates that bankers and investors charge is a direct function of the riskiness of your business. And if it's something that looks like, oh, this makes a lot of sense, this is a great business, then obviously it's a lot risky, and people are more likely to give you money. But if they feel that, oh my, this is really a long shot, and you have a lot of hurdles, there's obviously much more risk associated, it may be a little more difficult to come up with funds. Here's a little tool. I'm going to leave it, and it says here we're going to give you 10 minutes to fill it in and score. I'd say do the assessment on your own, and look at that right here. It's going to be in your presentation. Look at it and give yourself honestly some points, and it's going to give it's a great quick way of ascertaining, hey, where am I? Is my product meeting an unmet need? Is it something, oh no, there's a lot of people that do this. Okay, you give yourself a lower score. Do you know who your buyers are, or do you have an idea of how you're going to get to your buyers, right? Do you have a clear game plan? When do you want to start my business? I want to start it on April 1st. Until then, I do this and this. I know exactly what it takes. I know what I have to do. I know what I have to do. I know what I have to outsource. I know if I need funding, how to do this. I know I have my own funds to get started. So all of these things, these are questions that are coming back to what we said earlier. Those are the sort of the success factors, whether you're going to make it or not. And give yourself some points, and don't be discouraged if you don't have a lot of points. It just means you have work to do, right? And work that you have to do, or working with a mentor. But it's a great little tool to kind of give you a sort of a quick pulse on, hey, where am I? And how ready am I to get this off the ground? The other thing that you might want to do, and this is, I suggest that before you even meet with a mentor, is just, excuse me, is what's the overall purpose of your business, right? What's your vision? What do you want to do? Why are you in business? Why are you doing this? Is it to make money? Is it because you have a love, you have a passion for this? Do you think you're going to be better than others? Describe what you're going to do. Describe your product and everything that's important to you. Put it down, and it's going to be a great starting point to sit down, whether it's a family member, a friend, a business person, a mentor, an accountant, whatever. Again, the better sense that others have that you thought about this, you're planning it, you're putting some thought into how you're going to run this business. I think the better the chances are that you're going to get support and that you're going to make it. Excuse me. Okay, so we talked a little bit about sort of the basics of simple steps. I'll come back later and just kind of wrap it up and tell you. But again, if you feel comfortable with what you've heard and you feel that you're ready to take this forward and sign up with a mentor or write your business plan, go ahead and do that and put it and but at the same time, I'm not embarrassed to say that part of our role is to walk people off the ledge. Some people are just not ready to start their own business. They don't have the funding. They don't have the game plan. They don't know. They don't want to work hard. They think it's going to be easy. It's going to be hard work, and it's going to be you. And the gratifying thing is if it goes well, and you look at yourself in the mirror and say, "I did it. I'm successful. I did this." But oftentimes you look in the mirror and stuff doesn't go well. You know, you didn't get a customer, you lost a customer, something else, an employee quit, whatever. And again, you look in the mirror and say, "Hey, it's me. It's up to me." That's the fun thing about running your own business. It's up to you. You make it happen, and you learn from your mistakes. And it's okay to make mistakes. I mean, that's the fun part. In a corporate world, you make a mistake, who knows? You get demoted, or you lose your job. But when it's your own business, you make a mistake. Well, you got to take a hard look and say, okay, what happened? How do I take corrective action? How do I move forward and learn from that? Right? That's the fun part. You got to have this passion of continuous learning and growing and figuring out, okay, it's okay to make a mistake. I mean, every successful entrepreneur will tell you that they failed at some point in time and they've learned from that. So don't be discouraged by that, but be ready to pick yourself back up and move forward. Okay, these are the other, I mentioned the other simple steps, workshops, business concept, marketing plan, financial matters, and the funding options. All of these are online and yeah, for you to peruse and decide whether you want to have more in-depth on that or not. Okay. We'll give you this. I don't know where there should be a sheet tomorrow in your handout on how we're always looking for feedback on how we can do this better and some sort of quality control on what I do and what SCORE does. We appreciate your feedback on that as well. So thank you for that. And with that, I am done with my presentation. I'm going to open up to questions before we move on to Yolanda. Anybody? Did I put everybody to sleep here?
Still awake. Thank you.
Thank you. Good. Any questions? Any comments? I'm checking the chat board here.
I do have a question. We can't see unless the person is talking who the participants are, and in our chat box we can only like chat with the host or the panelist or host and panelist or everyone. Is there a way to get like other people's information if we want to like connect with them or as they're building out their business and share lessons learned or insights with each other?
Yes. So I don't know if you get each other's contact information, but absolutely. Hey, when I had my own business, I was in a peer group with others in the same business, and we got together and we vetted and we shared information and we shared best practices. It's a very good thing to do. Absolutely. So I encourage you all to exchange with each other. Do it in the chat if you want to do that. If there's specific people that you want to target or keep in touch with. I am not sure, again, when you get the summary, the presentation charts tomorrow, whether you see the other participants. Yolanda, you wouldn't know either, right?
I'm guessing not. I think what Sarah is asking is, do you have the ability to give participants the ability to see all of the other participants? So they can, like, if they wanted to speak privately, just like one-on-one. If I saw that Sarah and PB may have made a connection, if they just wanted to chat
Yeah.
directly, I don't think they're seeing the other participants as a,
So, in the part, yeah, I'm looking at, a good question. That's maybe a Zoom question more than anything else. But it
yeah.
says the webinar chat. I see all your comments, but when you write it, it says two hosts or panelists. But if you click on that, underneath you have individuals' names.
Yeah, I think only the hosts and panelists are seeing all the individuals. Right
Oh,
now, the participants aren't seeing the other participants in that list.
okay.
Uh,
Yeah, so I think you're sharing it right now. So wonderful. Great to do that. Very good. I'll find out about that. So yeah, I don't know what you're looking at. I look at the webinar chat that lists all the people, and then you can send individually or you send it as a group chat. Hmm, okay. Yeah, sorry. I'm looking at all the different Zoom functions here. I don't see anything that I can change that. But Sarah, I see that you listed your information, LinkedIn and information, all that. And so did do Kairos. Thank you for joining us. I missed you at the beginning. Yeah, just maybe do that if you want to send your contact information and who you are in the Q&A. You do that for the next couple of minutes, and then do you have any other questions for me? Anything else? Anything specific? Who's going to move forward with a mentor, you think? Just give me maybe, yeah, okay. Yeah, give me that. PB got one, okay. Very good. Okay. Well, good. At this point in time, let me, as I mentioned before, we're timing wise, we're in good shape here. I'm going to hand it over to Yolanda Slaughter from the Charlotte Mecklenburg Library, and she's going to talk to a little bit about the wonderful tools that the library offers to business startups.
Thank you, Joe. And before I get started, I am going to go ahead and share my screen. But I know that Joe is in Rock Hill, and I saw that Aisha is new to the Charlotte area. But I'm wondering, are there any other people that aren't in Mecklenburg County?
I'm in Durham, actually.
Okay. Okay. So we're at least all in North Carolina except for Joe. So most of these resources are going to be available to you through your library, even if you're not a Charlotte Mecklenburg Library customer, except for one that I'm going to be going over called Simply Analytics. I do want you to know, if you don't have your library card yet, you can always go online either to apply for a library card, or you can go in person to any of our branches. For I think that was Lewin I heard speaking, saying that they're in Durham. You can purchase a Charlotte Mecklenburg Library card as a non-resident. It's $45 a year. But once again, if you're part of the North Carolina library system, I'm pretty sure Durham has most of the NC Live resources that I'm going to go over, except for Simply Analytics. But just wanted to keep that in mind. If you're not in Charlotte Mecklenburg, what you might be seeing might not be available to you at your library. During my presentation, feel free to unmute yourself and ask any questions, and I'll go ahead and get started. So I'm hoping, I know I just did my spiel on how to get a library card, but I'm hoping everybody already has their library card. And I'm here to tell you why you should have a library card if you are in business. All right, sorry. This is open. All right. So Joe has already talked about business plans. And that is what the library can help you with, is providing that information to create your business plan. We have a lot of resources that can fill in any gaps, whether you're just getting started or if you're looking to expand, just getting that information that is going to firm up your ideas and make it more palatable to anybody who might be lending you money, or for just finding your customers in general. And remember, this is the public library, so your taxes have already paid for your access, so why not use it? So we're going to take a look at an example of how library resources could help a business, and you'll see how you might be able to use it in your personal goals in creating your business. In this case, our example is going to be opening a pet supply store. Is anybody a pet owner, or there is a different term for it now, um, like a pet carer? I can't remember what it is. Um, Anybody have any pets? All right. No pet owners, but hopefully, okay, Angelica has plants.
I'm
Do
a
you talk
pet
to them? Okay.
I'm a pet godparent, if that counts.
Yeah. So yeah, because you have to, take care of them sometimes, right? They have overnights at your house,
Yep.
maybe.
Play dates, overnights,
And
whenever their pet what was it? Pet
carer?
carers are
There's a
out of
different term,
town.
yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, if they're a pet godparent or a pet parent, they're going to have to purchase supplies. So let's consider if we were trying to open up a pet supply store. We can first go to a resource called ABI Inform. It's a great resource. It has a lot of information about industries. Specifically, there's something called the First Research Industry Profile, and it specifically tells you about an industry, gives you kind of that SWOT analysis. You find the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and threats for that specific industry. And these are produced quarterly. So you're seeing how that industry is responding to what is going on right now in the world. So in this case, we have the First Research Industry Profile for pet care services. And from this report, I can find out that 70% of households in the US have at least one pet. So this is telling me that if I want to open a pet supply store, it could be that my customers would be, those 70% of households in the area in which I live. So sounds like a pretty good customer base that I could possibly tap into. We have another resource available through the library called Data Axle Reference Solutions. Joe was talking a lot about finding your competitors, and this is a great resource for doing that. Data Axle can look up different companies in an area, specific location. You can look them up by the NAICS code or the SIC code, and you can find businesses in your location that are working in your industry. In this case, we did a search on pet supply stores, and we found out that there are 269 businesses in Mecklenburg County that are already selling pet supplies. So those are going to be my competitors when starting my business. When you're in Data Axle Reference Solutions, I know right now you can only see like the name, the executive name, and the address and phone number. But if you click into each of these results, they're going to give you more information, like a website, if that's available. They can also give you sales estimates, yearly sales volume. You can also get information about who the competitors for that specific business might be. So you are able to gather a lot of information about who you might be going up against when you open up your pet supply store. So once again, as Joe said, you're going to get information about these companies, and you can go and look at their websites and find out how much they're selling their services for. Of course, you do have their contact information. So if you wanted to contact them, and maybe if they're willing, they can share your information about what they're doing, and you can find out a little bit more about your competitors. Something that's really useful is actually a visual map of where all of your competitors are located in your specific area. So this is just looking at Mecklenburg County. And so when we look at those 269 pet supply stores, we can see exactly where they're located. And so this can kind of give us an idea of maybe there might be some areas in the county that don't have a pet supply store. And maybe if you're doing a brick and mortar pet supply store, these are the areas where you would think about building your business. So beyond data axle that provides us with that heat map that showed us where all of our competitors were located, we have the Simply Analytics resource, which can show us more information about our possible customers. So what we're looking at right now is a Simply Analytics map view of where people in Mecklenburg County spend the most money on their pets. In this case, all of the darker areas are where we're going to see people who spend the most money on their pets, and then the lighter areas are going to be those who don't spend as much. So if you are thinking about sending out mailers or you're thinking about setting up a store, then maybe you want to take a look at those places where people are spending a lot of money on their pets. So also in Simply Analytics, beyond that map view, you can also do a comparison table. And there you can see actual numbers of what people are spending. In this comparison view, we're looking at Mecklenburg County versus North Carolina versus the USA. But when we look at this comparison table, we find out that in 2002, people in Mecklenburg County spent almost $500 million on pets. All right, so that is a lot of money that's out there just in Mecklenburg County that people are spending on their pets. So you
Yolanda,
can, Mhm.
sorry, we got two questions here real quick. One is, can Simple Analytics also be used for B2B?
Yes, you can look up businesses in Simply Analytics. I don't think we have the actual picture here, but when you go into Simply Analytics, there's going to be a place for businesses, locations, and then data. Right now, like all of these variables, and right now you can just see pets, but there are a wide range of variables that you can take a look at in Simply Analytics. And then you can also look up actual businesses. So if you were looking to see who your competitors were, you can definitely look and see in Simply Analytics where those companies are located. You can do that search by the SIC or the NAICS code. And then also if you're selling to businesses, you can also take a look at
That's
those
okay.
companies through Simply
That was
Analytics.
good. Yeah, the other question, Yolanda, was whether this information is available on people's home computers, or do they have to actually physically come to the library?
You can access all of these resources except for we'll look at Charlotte Business Journal in just a second. But most of these resources are going to be accessible remotely. You'll just
Okay,
need your library card
good.
in
Yeah,
order to
question
access.
from two Kairos here. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. And what's great about Simply Analytics is that you can create an account once you have your library card, so you can access any searches that you do and store those, so you don't have to keep going back in order to create those same searches over and over again. But once we've used, and those are just three resources that we've looked at so far. That was ABI Inform, Simply Analytics, and Data Axle. We found out quite a bit of information, right? We found out that we have people in Mecklenburg County who are spending $500 million in pet supply purchases. We found out that there's 269 other pet supply stores in the area. And we found out that 70% of households have pets. And in Mecklenburg County, that would mean 269 and 300,000 households have pets, right? So if we take all of that information, we find out that if we were to spread out that $500 million in sales between all of the 269 competitors, that's almost $2 million that's out there that each business could be pulling in. And we can also see that each business could also possibly be supporting a little over 1,000 households that have pets. So all of this information, that was just 3 resources. And then also you can get a list of people, I'm forgetting who asked about the B2B, but you can find that list both in Simply Analytics and Data Axle for businesses that you might want to invite to your grand opening if you're doing those B2B sales. Right, and I think I went over this a little bit, but this is a more visual representation of how you can use Simply Analytics and Data Axle together in order to provide you with information. So in Data Axle, we were able to see where all of those 269 pet supply stores were located on a map. All right. And then in Simply Analytics, we can see where people who are spending money on their pets are located in that same area. So if we're looking at where all of our potential customers are, and then where there might be a lack of pet supply stores in that area, then maybe that's a great place for you to set up your business. Now you can find more information using Simply Analytics. It has a lot of demographic information coming from the census. So if you are looking for a target market, if you're looking for a specific age group, or you wanted to focus on a group of people with a certain amount of education, then Simply Analytics can provide that information to you. So once you've kind of found your audience, you know where you're going to be located and who you're targeting, you may need some help trying to figure out what you want to say to them. Joe mentioned, how are you going to entice your customers? How are you going to keep them coming back for more? And so we do have a resource called Master File Premier. It's a great place to find peer-reviewed articles about different industries and what's going on in that industry. And so you can use some of this information as quotes that you can put on your website, or perhaps there's a little bit of information, the facts that you want to share on your Instagram post that you'll have coming out. So this is just to help support any new thing that's coming out in your industry, or maybe something that you have that you provide through your company that is just supported by facts to help people understand that what you're providing is a resource that they need. I think I just did a one-on-one with somebody, and they were looking at the fashion industry. And so there was an article about fashion trends that just came out recently that was very helpful and useful for what that person was looking at. So it's a great place to find information about your industry. Other places that you can go for local business news is the Charlotte Observer and also the Charlotte Business Journal. I did mention this earlier. This is available at the libraries. I know it says access now, but you may have to have special use in order to get access to this. But both of these resources are great places to find local business news. We actually have access to more than just these 2 newspapers. So I think we do have a Durham newspaper available to you through the American News Bank. And we, of course, have additional access to things like New York Times in order to find more information. about local businesses and businesses nationally. Now, Joe also mentioned it's important to, have that education piece. You're going to be wearing a lot of different hats. And so if you aren't in school, but you are looking to just learn more about your industry or about how to manage your business, we have access to LinkedIn Learning. It used to be lynda.com. And Universal Class. Both of those resources provide you with different tutorials for different courses on marketing, entrepreneurship, and a whole wealth of information is available to you through those two resources. And Universal Class also gives you continuing education credits that you can use. So that might be useful for those of you who are licensed, depending on what you do, that might be helpful for you. Now, once you kind of gotten your education piece together, you've gotten all your data, you may want to look for other places to find customers or people who are doing what you are doing. I know PB and Sarah kind of made a connection today. And I know Score has their mixers, so y'all definitely be on the lookout for that for you just to meet like-minded people. But we also have a resource called the Gale Directory Library, and it has something called the Encyclopedia of Associations. So if I am a pet supply store owner, then maybe I want to look for an association of pet owners. Or maybe if my pet supply store is specifically for parrots, perhaps there's an association specifically for people who own parrots. And maybe they have a conference quarterly or annually, and they allow people to come in and promote their businesses. I can find those associations through the Encyclopedia of Associations and maybe register to have a table at their event, their upcoming event. And you can probably also find associations for people who are doing what you're doing, just so you can have that kind of support system as you move and grow your business. So those are just some of the library's resources. We do offer programs to help you kind of navigate those resources specifically for your business. So if you wanted to go to the library's website at cmlibrary.org, you can go to our calendar and you can click on the business development filter, and you'll see all of our business programs show up, and you can register for a one-on-one, which is a 1 hour session to take a look at the business resources that are available, and you can see how they work best for your company. Oh, glad, PB, I'm glad to hear you already signed up. Love that. And I know I've talked about these resources, but just a reminder, I do work for the library, so we have books, okay? So we have those business books, physical books. We also have audio books, ebooks, e-audio books, videos, and more. So those are all available to you with your library card. So we want to make sure that you definitely have access to all of those. So going back to that initial question, why do you need a library card if you're in business? We're here to fill in that gap in your business plan. We're here to help you find customers, say something new on social media, and understand your industry. And we're just here to help you succeed. So definitely visit our website. If you have any questions, definitely sign up for those one-on-ones, and we'll try and connect you with the resources that are going to get the most out of your business for you. All right. Are there any AI tools available with the library that we can utilize or learn how to utilize in building our business plan? Oh, so we don't have any separate AI tools available. A lot of those resources that I was sharing, like ABI Inform, it is going to have a AI component that helps you search for different information. Um, Basically, I feel like Chat GPT will kind of write a business plan for you. But once again, Joe, you can speak to this probably better than I can. You definitely want to go through any business plan that ChatGPT comes up with and make sure that somebody else also has eyes on it. Um, but we don't have any AI specific tools, just kind of standalone tools available through the library. No. Any other questions?
Are you able to show how to utilize the data, the, I hope I'm saying this right, data axle reference? The, am I saying that correct?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
So I can go through and is it okay, Joe, to go ahead and do this? Or I mean, this would be something that we would do in our one-on-one.
Oh,
So,
okay. Okay. So most libraries, they wouldn't have the capacity or the knowledge on how to, because I didn't mention it, but I'm in Wake County.
okay.
Um, so I mean from time to time I do frequent the Charlotte area, but I'm in Wake County, so I was just wondering if um they had the, if you knew anything about that county, I guess, and the capacity. I know you said Simply Analytics was not available, but everything else. I actually am in the library currently, and so I was checking through as you were sharing with them, and most of them are there in our library except for Simply Analytics.
Yeah. So yeah, so I'm not sure what services are offered. I know in Durham County they have an awesome business services.
Okay, yeah,
Um
I do have a Durham County library card as well,
oh,
so because I
yeah,
used to
they
live
have a
in
whole
Durham. Yeah,
yep. They have a whole setup. So they have a great, we
I
don't have
figured.
that here in Charlotte, but they do in
I
Durham.
figure, yeah, they have so many resources. And I recently did see some things that I probably can tap into. So now that I know that, do they have Simply? You said they don't have Simply Analytics in Charlotte. I mean, excuse me, in Durham County.
You know what? I'm not sure. Let me
Okay,
not
I could
say.
always
I just know
ask.
that it's a separate resource. I know that the Charlotte Mecklenburg Library has to pay, like, because it's always a big thing with us whether they're gonna bring it back every year, because of the cost. But you can definitely, I was just trying to see. You didn't see it when you looked at through the online resources on their website.
I didn't look
Oh, you
through
were looking at Wake
Durham
County. You
County.
weren't looking at
Yes,
Durham.
uh-huh.
I was just trying to see if I could look through,
Okay.
see if they had it. Oh, this looks different. Okay, so I have never visited theirs. Let me look at this. Old resources. Sorry, I am going so y'all just don't see me looking. I'm just sharing my screen.
While you look, maybe we can ask if anybody else has any questions for Yolanda. No news is good news. Okay.
Okay. So I do want to mention for those who don't have access, yeah, it doesn't look like they do. For those who don't have access to Simply Analytics, there is a resource that's available for, I think, for most North Carolina libraries. It's called Social Explorer. It doesn't have quite the capabilities that Simply Analytics does, but it does provide you with that demographic information. Yeah. So I think most libraries in North Carolina have access to the Social Explorer, and they give, like, really quickly they can give you information demographic. Okay, I don't have access to it, but they give you some great information really quickly about different demographic data that you can find in different areas, and it provides demographic information for all of the United States. Because once again, it is based on census data, just like Simply Analytics is. All right, I see somebody else is promoting. Thank you, Sarah.
Good.
You can, yeah, also get access to those ebooks through Overdrive and Livy, as well as Hoopla.
Good. Well, thank you, Yolanda. Thank you very much. And I think that hopefully gave everybody a quick introduction and realization that libraries are not about books anymore, right? It's about data and finding information. And I mean, it's not the library of when I grew up, when you rent, get a book and all that. So from that standpoint, in terms of being able to get data on your business, I mean, it's a great opportunity. And I strongly suggest, if when you get to that point, make an appointment with Yolanda or one of your folks, and talk in more detail what your data needs are. But thank you for joining us today. For the rest of you, thank you for spending time with us. Let me just kind of wrap up real quick. If you don't have any questions, again, there are 4 other Simple Steps workshops online. You can watch those at any time you want. They're online and always accessible. You will receive a summary deck of all the presentation charts from today. And then you can go to score.org and find a mentor. If you're ready to move forward and you feel, okay, I'm ready to start and I need some help, I need someone maybe to hold me accountable and be a sounding board for me, then I urge you to go online and get a mentor. And usually that process is pretty quickly. Someone from SCORE will actually call you and talk to you a little bit about your business and what you're looking for, and they'll match you up. We have about close to 100 mentors in a greater Charlotte area. So there's a lot of people willing to help. And then finally, if you do that self-assessment, I think it will be very helpful to just kind of give you sort of an initial take on, hey, where am I? What do I need? And where do I have some holes, and how do I work on specific holes and areas where I just need to invest more time or funding, etc., or have maybe some experts talk to me. So thank you for joining us today. Good luck, and maybe I'll see some of you again as a client down the road. So thank you for being with us tonight. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.
And just wanted to mention, DeCaro's had a question that those business resource one-on-ones, they do fill up pretty quickly. If you want to email me at uslaughter@cmlibrary.org, we might be able to fit you into a schedule. Also, there are some one-on-ones that don't specifically say business research, but there are staff who provide you with business research assistance. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, we've been living my life with that last name. All right.
Okay, any other questions? I don't see anything else here. So sending off, thank you again and have a good evening. Thank you, Yolanda, for joining me.